She always felt her husband was a bit strange, carrying a bundle of feathers and a long stick every day, leaving early in the morning without knowing what he was up to. The man rides his motorcycle along the highway. He rode through hundreds of miles around, and today he finally found a clue. A single ostrich feather proves he had been active nearby. The ostrich egg not far away is evidence he left on his escape route. He stared at the egg on the ground, lost in thought. Finding this ostrich was crucial for him. He looked up into the distance, and an ostrich suddenly appeared there. However, when the camera zoomed in, it was revealed that the ostrich seemed a bit strange. It turned out that the man's feathers and long stick he carried were the ostrich's neck and head. He tried to attract the ostrich to him, but unfortunately, as usual, he still got nothing. The next day, he went to the ostrich farm where he worked. However, his colleagues' attitudes towards him were somewhat strange. The thing he was worried about had happened. His personal belongings were piled up at the entrance, and he could only humbly ask the person in charge. The person in charge didn't respond, just invited him to have a cup of tea. He gave his shares to Carrie, and after finishing the tea, he was no longer a worker here. Looking at the ostriches inside the railing, Carly felt the injustice of the incident. A few days ago, when everyone was transferring the ostriches, one person didn't follow the rules and messed up the ostrich's eye mask. This scared the ostriches and caused chaos at the scene. The experienced Carly went up to help, but was exploited by a premeditated ostrich. After people realized, they immediately went to chase the ostrich, which then disappeared into the wilderness. Carly rushed to take photos on the motorcycle, but it was too late. The ostrich had already vanished without a trace. He was not the only one responsible for the accident, but Carlin had to accept this reality. Upon returning home, she bought snacks for the children. She then handed the feces to Cheesy, asking him to make a good meal with ostrich eggs. Her wife saw the feathers in the bag and seemed to sense something, asking him why he had brought all the tools back. Carlin, valuing saving face, said the job was unsuitable.
We must first prioritize correctness repeatedly. If I set aside a small potato, how can I rely on nothing? Give me a tile to create nothing.
Although Carlin had reasonable grounds, resigning from a stable job was not really her approach. Cooking bird eggs is a technical task. First, use a small hammer to make a slit, then use water to finish it.
Shiguang's family has a mother who is also known as Amitabha's son.
Sometimes things just happen in life exactly like this.
Although life is somewhat tight, the precious feelings make these mundane days full, like a big pot of delicious tomatoes thrown with bird eggs. After Carlin split himself into 5 copies and had his son send them all to the neighbors, he himself was left with very little. The next day, while taking his daughter to school, Carlin suddenly stopped her to help tie her loose shoelaces. Because his daughter has a hearing impairment, he always goes the extra mile to care for her. A few days ago, his youngest son and friends were fishing in a mud-filled cellar, and his eldest daughter's hearing aid fell into the sludge while helping her brother. The following scene may seem tedious, but it serves as a foreshadowing to understand the film's deeper message. He questioned his son why he came to this foul-smelling water cellar. The son had heard there were fish and just wanted to catch them. Carlin believed that a mud-filled water cellar couldn't hold any fish, as they thrive in clear river water. A young boy suggested they should clean the pond. They planned to breed goldfish and sell them later to become millionaires. But Carlin dismissed it as a foolish dream. He said the water cellar was lifeless, and that the rotten mud would take many years to fully dry up. His son replied that if they could get more children to help, they could clean it up. After some searching, they fortunately found and retrieved the hearing aid. Chutinki's hearing aid was ruined by water damage, and the village doctor couldn't repair it. He was given a city address for his daughter's exam in a few days. Unemployed Carlin rode his motorcycle to the office, but met his cousin halfway, a village transportation worker whose car broke down and had recently heard news that someone had discovered turtle eggs nearby, but Carlin had already searched that area. He dropped off his cousin at the repair shop and proceeded to Tehran, the capital of Iran. As a result, it can't be repaired here. Waiting for a new one to arrive takes 3 to 4 months. My daughter's exams can't wait that long, and there are still market channels. It's fast, but without insurance, the card needs to pay at least over 35,000, which is around 3,000 RMB. This has put Carlin in a dilemma. Life itself is a struggle.